G'day guys, I want to talk about the M6 injector and what it does in soft washing, building facades, house washing, downstreaming, all alike. I wanted to run you through the different components and we'll run through the operation of this smart little device. I just wanted to summarize what you'll actually get in the kit on the M6 injector. So it's made up of a few parts. We have a PA-M5 twist on the end, so that'll give us varying degree from pencil to 60-degree fan at the outlet nozzle. We have a full stainless steel injector from Sutton or Suttner, German quality, and if you don't know who those guys are in the foaming and injecting industry, look them up. So full stainless steel injector with a stainless steel barb. Inside the barb we'll have proportioner tips. So the M6 injector can be used as open draw, and we'll discuss ratios, or it'll come with the four main proportioner tips, which are beige, red, grey and black. So those proportioner restrictor tips will be placed in the stainless suction port and will close that orifice to reduce the draw from this downstreaming injector. We'll also get a suction hose which contains an on-off tap, a few meters of hose with mushroom fitting and brass adapter to weight that to the bottom of the chemical drum. So using the injector itself can be used as a rinse aid. So once you put the chemical on and that solution of choice, you can easily remove the suction hose and then use the injector or the downstream nozzle assembly as a rinse aid. So it'll go from pencil to fan, and depending on the atmospheric conditions, whether we can get 2-story and above will be dependent on pressure and flow rate. With downstreaming, the higher the pressure to get the higher the rate, the more the overspray. So that'll be a dilemma that you'll have to sort of overcome with those atmospheric conditions on reaching height to reduce your overspray. Let's run you through this step by step. We'll take it outside and fire up a pressure cleaner and show you the M6 injector. So soft washing in general, so if you're using a proportioner similar to this, if you're downstreaming and using fixed injectors like this, or if you're going to use a M6 injector, they all have differences with concentration levels and degrees of accuracy and ratios that can be obtained, or percentage mixes depending on the system you're using. So length of hoses, viscosity of fluids will affect downstream injectors, whether fixed injectors or the M6 as it stands. Having the M6 as it stands with hose length, running different size machines, different gallons a minute, different litres per minute, the viscosity of the fluid, and even if you're walking around with your pail of solution, and whether that's sitting on a platform or you're running extended hose to inject your chem, will affect the ratios and percentages obtained. I'm going to drop lots of information in this video below, so do take a read to explain further. So the proportion restrictors represent ratios, and when you look at the restrictors, each restrictor has a different hole size which is going to restrict the opening and the suction port. So there's a chart available online with this that will give you the ratios to the coloured restrictors that you're going to insert. It can also be used as open flow, so take those into account and always do a test sample when you're carrying out a particular task, and it's always better to start on the weaker side to save your chem. But the chart will relate to ratios and proportions drawn from this Venturi injecting system. So let's talk ratios. So maximum draw ratios are going to vary dependent on your litres per minute or gallons per minute of your machine. But for example, an open draw Venturi of this particular nature on a 5-gallon machine will pull at 2 to 1. So 2 parts water to 1 part chemical. And that chemical will be a mixture of sodium hypochlorite and something like our house wash mix. Maybe some sticky blue if you need high grip surfactant. If you're doing some white render, you could also add some of our magic masking to mask the smell of that SH, but a maximum draw ratio of 2 to 1. So if we're using 12.5% SH and we've got a maximum draw of 2 to 1, open flow, we're going to get about 4.8% of that SH drawn into this injector. All the information's in the video below, so do check that out, because the viscosity and length of hose will vary that, and your gallons per minute or litres per minute on your machine will also vary that on an open flow injector. So there's lots to read, so go through that step by step. So what I suggest is always set up a test sample. You can run your machine at a desired RPM, and the lower the RPM, the less overspray. So this little machine behind me is only 4,000 PSI at 15 litres a minute, but we're only running at about 2,000 PSI pressure, and that's going to give us still great suction, but it's going to reduce that overspray to shoot high. So once you've got your system and chosen your M6 injector to shoot your machine, and they come in size 9, 13, 16 and 20, you can then be assured that the ratios you're going to draw at the RPM set will be right. But we'll go through this step by step. The M5 twist on the end can go from a pencil to a fan, 60 degrees. So even as a rinse aid, they're quite effective. And from a distance shot, they're quite good. We'll do some height shooting. So most soft washing applications require a 1 to 2% of solution on the dwelling. So we'll be using the beige or red restrictor in the suction bar. Open flow, we're going to obtain upward of 4%, which is going to be too strong on an external building. If you're going to zap a driveway or a flat surface, that may be okay. Let's run through the setup and I'll show you how to connect it, this particular system. So the mushroom strainer on the end is basically a filter, and it's weighted by the brass connection. That'll go into your drum, your solution of choice, sodium hypochlorite, some house wash, some sticky agent and fragrance if you're running a proportioned tip. If you're going to open stream it, it could be also a cocktail of solutions mixed up in this particular drum to give you the desired level. The suction hose will just go on the barb, and our plastic restrictors will go into the suction port, and the hose will just push on like that. We do have a tap to be able to turn the solution on and off, but truly I find it easier to just pull the suction hose off that particular fitting, because this is great to be used also as a rinse nozzle. So if you do pull the hose off, make sure you don't dislodge the proportionate tip, but all those parts can be ordered individually from us, and they're quite cheap to replace. Just like that. So, solution of choice, we have our tap, which we can control our on-off flow from a fan to a pencil. Just some house wash, no SH today. About 2,000. Fan, pencil, and that's 9 metres. So to reduce that overspray, you would reduce the RPM. The higher the RPM, the higher you want to shoot, the more overspray you're going to induce. So that's something that you as an operator are going to have to work out. For a rinse down, water off. Our particular house wash mix pulls dirt, cobwebs, and just makes the paint shine. And that is the M6 Injector from us here at Blue Tongue Industries. Hope you've got a bit from this video. There's lots to read below, so do go through that and you can learn more about ratios and proportioning. Thanks guys.